Example number 1. The following data represents the number of hours 12 different students watched television during the weekend and the scores of each student who took a test the following Monday. Letter A, display the scatter plot. Okay. Letter B, calculate the correlation coefficient or. So this is the data. So we wanted to determine the correlation or the relationship between the number of hours spent during the weekends and the score of the student during a test the following Monday. Okay, so we wanted to test whether if you spent more or less number of hours watching television, mas mataas ba or mas mababa yung score nyo sa test. Okay, that is what we are trying to define using the correlation coefficient and the scatter plot diagram. So let's do that. I'll be copying this data in our Excel. So again, we have X and Y. So these are the number of hours. Let me add hours here. And this is the scores. Are the scores. Yan. So the first student did not watch during the weekend. So 0 hour siya, no? 0 hour. Second student is 1. You have 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5,
6.
6, 7, 7, 10. 6, 7, 7, and 10. Okay, thank you. Do you have the copy?
Yes, sir.
Yan.
Sabihin
Please,
ko na lang po.
yeah, and please enumerate the scores of these students.
96, 85, 82, 74, 95, 68, 76, 84, 58, 65, 75, lastly, sir, 50 po.
Okay, thank you. Hey, this is what we know, about the 12 students, the number of hours they spent watching the television during weekends, and their score the following Monday. So first is the scatter plot diagram. Scatter plot diagram. So if you were using Excel, again, I'll show you how to insert the scatter plot diagram using the Excel para mabilis na. So just go to the insert menu and look for the chart. And yun, this is the logo for the scatter plot diagram. Choose the first example. I mean first, tawag doon? First choice. Ayan. Okay. So this is the scatter plot diagram. Using this diagram, we can have an initial hypothesis, about their relationship. So as you can see, if we were to draw an imaginary straight line, this is the trend of the scatter plot diagram, no? The points tend to follow this straight line. And as you can see now, the straight line is falling to the right. The slope of this line is negative. Therefore, our initial hypothesis is that the two variables are uh, correlated or positively correlated. Okay. Two variables are positively correlated. So the question is how much how much they are correlated. Gaano kalakas yung correlationship between them. And that question will be answered after we computed for their coefficient. Okay, the correlation coefficient. So that is the second one. Set aside muna natin si scatter plot diagram and let's proceed to the coefficient. Okay, so we need to add columns for their product x times y. Another column for the square of the first variable and the square of the second variable. And so just multiply them. No, 0 times 96, 1 times 85, 2 times 82. You may use your calculator. You may do it manually. But if you were to do so, mas ano no, mas mahaba yung time na i-consume nyo. If you were to use Excel, very easy na lang siya. Just use the feature, type equal sign. This will prompt you to to include the formula, right? The formula that you wanted um do, right? Given these values. So I would like to multiply this cell, the data in this cell with the data in the cell. Okay, take note. The symbol for multiplication in Excel is the asterisk sign or the star sign. So take note of that. Meaning, I were to multiply 0 and 96 here, which is equivalent to 0. Okay? And do it again. 1 times 85. Okay. Or you may just click this cell and toggle this little square below the cell, and if your cursor changed into the cross, i-drag nyo lang yung square na yon. Just click, right click, and then drag this up to the last pair of x and y, and then that's it. You'll have the product of x and y. Okay, as simple as that. Next column, we need to square. You need to square the x variable. So using the formula again, square, you may use the symbol. Okay, just look for the symbol sa mga keyboards nyo. So that is 0 square. Sorry, square. Okay? If you cannot find that symbol, then you may just multiply the same cell by 1 times 1. Okay? 1 times 1. That is good as 1 squared. So it's up to you, no? It's up to you which one you are most comfortable with. And then drag. That's it. Okay? And then for y, this is y squared. I would like to use squared na. 96 times 96. If you want to confirm that, you may use your calculator and see if this confirms your Excel, which is true naman, 9,216. So you may drag again the formula to be copied to the rest of the cell. And that's it. We now have completed the table. Okay, the table. And the next would be the sum, diba? The sum of all the columns. Summation of x summation of y, summation of xy, summation of x squared, and summation of y squared. So manually, pwede nyong i-add yan isa-isa, but be sure na be sure to input the right values, no? Kaya ang tendency nito is may ma-misinput kayong values. So your solutions will be messed up. So dapat accurate kayo when using your calculators manually. But for Excel, just look for the auto sum feature. This will auto add or total your the highlighted cells. Okay? So click nyo lang yan and you now have 54. That's it. This time we'll drag oops vertically or I mean horizontally. Kanina vertically tayo na eh. So this is horizontally. Drag nyo lang horizontally and the formula will be copied. You now have these values: 54, 908, 3724, 332, 7,836. And using these values, we may now use the formula of Pearson R. Hey, this is R. So remember the formula. Do you remember the formula? I won't ask you to memorize the formula, no? You may just, you may just copy the formula para meron kayong reference in a index card or clean paper or whatever para may ready kayong formula dyan. So we have n times summation of xy minus summation of x times summation of y all over square root. Actually, there were two square roots there, no? So, lagyan ko na ng isa. Ayan. We have n times summation of x squared minus quantity. Don't forget the quantity. Summation of x squared. And the other one, we have n summation of y squared minus the quantity summation of y quantity squared. And this is your formula. This is the formula. And we may now substitute the values. What is our n? How many students were involved? How many pairs of data do we have? Guys, how many pairs of data we have?
12 po.
Hi, we have 12. Summation of xy, we have 3,724. Summation of x is 54. Summation of y is 908. Ayan. And then we have the same n. Summation of x squared is 332. And then summation of x is 54. 12 times summation of y squared. This is a large value, no? 70,846 minus summation of y. And then that's it. Okay, let us simplify each part, the numerator and the denominator. Let's start with the numerator using our calculator. So just input everything. 12,000 times, 12 times 3,724 minus 54 times 908. And then that's it. Result is negative 4344. Negative 4344. Okay, done with the numerator. The first radical, we have 12 times 332 minus 54 squared. 54 squared is 1068. And the other radical, we have 12 times 70,836. Or where is the multiplication sign? And 12 times 70,836 minus 908 squared. We have 25568. 25568. And then that's it. Okay. We may now include everything in our calculator. We have negative 4344 divided by square root of 1068 times 25568. Again, by properties of radicals, same since uh, these two radicals have the same index, okay, pareho silang square root, we may just multiply their radicands. Okay, 1068 and 25568. And whatever the value here will be our coefficient equals negative 0.8313. Negative 0.8313. So this is your coefficient. This confirms our scatter plot diagram. Diba? This is negative. Okay, this is negative. The slope of this line is negative. And at the same time, very evident siya because the coefficient is very close to negative 1. Okay, so we may now go interpret this result. Interpretation. There is a high negative, okay, correlation between the two variables, but this time I would like you to be very specific now. What are the two variables? There is a high negative correlation between the number of hours spent watching television during weekends and, okay, the other variable, the scores of the students in a test. Okay, the scores of the students in a test during Monday. And that's it. There's a high negative correlation between the number of hours spent watching television during weekends and the score of the students in a test during Monday. So what does this mean? This means to say that the negative, no, okay, the correlation is negative. Therefore, the the x and y were opposite. They are of opposite direction. Ibig sabihin, the lesser number of hours you spent, the higher your score. At the same time, the higher the number of hours you spent watching television, the lower your score. Okay? Alright. Let me add that interpretation. This means the wait, this means the lesser the lesser time spent watching TV, the higher the score, and vice versa. Ayan. This means the lesser time spent watching television, the higher the score, and vice versa. The more time you spent watching television, the lower your score. So that is how we interpret the coefficient and the scatter plot diagram. Question, guys? Hello? Question?
None, sir.
None, sir.
Yan. Clear naman sa atin, no?
Opo.
Already.